Hello everyone, welcome back to Pabbly. In this video, we're going to learn how to enroll Zenler user on Cognito Forms submission. So I'm an online course creator and using Zenler, I manage all my courses and students enrollment. Now for collecting the registrations from my students, I have created a form using Cognito Forms. Here what I want is that as soon as by the students who are interested in the courses that I'm selling, as they go to do the form submission using Cognito Forms and I'm going to receive the form submission, I want to enroll that student into the course that I've created in my Zenler account. Now doing this manually is very time consuming. So what I've done is I've simply automated this entire process with the help of Pabbly Connect, which is an amazing automation and integration software. And here in this automation, I'm going to build a connection between Cognito Forms and Zenler with the help of it. So if you also want to learn about this amazing automation process step by step, for that let me take you to my screen.
In this video, we're going to learn how to enroll Zenler user on Cognito Forms submission. So as an online course creator, I use Cognito Forms to collect detailed information from potential students during registration. And I use Zenler as my course platform to host and manage my training sessions. The problem that I face is manually transferring data from Cognito Forms into Zenler for enrolling these students into the courses that I've created in my Zenler account. So what I've done is I've simply automated this entire process. Now by integrating Cognito Forms with Zenler, every time a new form submission is going to be done by the students for registering for the course that I'm selling, automatically that student is going to be enrolled to the course that I've created in my Zenler account. And for that, I've created this amazing automation between these two applications with the help of Pabbly Connect. So on the screen, you can see the website of Pabbly Connect, that is pabbly.com/connect. After browsing this website, we need to sign into our Pabbly Connect account. But if you're a new user, you can sign up for free and get 100 free tasks every month. So as I'm an existing user, I'm going to sign into my Pabbly Connect account. After signing in, you can see the All Pabbly apps window in front of you, in which you can see all the applications of Pabbly, from which we are going to select Pabbly Connect by clicking on this Access Now button. Then Pabbly Connect's dashboard is going to appear in front of you. In order to start an automation process in Pabbly Connect, we need to create a workflow. For that, click on this top right corner button right here that says Create Workflow. A dialog box is then going to appear in front of you, which is asking for the workflow name and for us to select a folder. So for the name of my workflow, I'm going to give it as Enroll Zenler user in Cognito Forms submission. So this is the name that I want to give to my workflow. Okay. After giving the name to the workflow, it is asking for us to select a folder. So on the left side of my screen, you can see I've created multiple folders in my Pabbly Connect account, from which I'm going to select a specific folder in which I want to save this workflow in. And from the drop down, I'm going to select the folder in the name of Zenler Automations as I want to save this workflow in this folder right over here. After giving the name to the workflow and selecting the folder, I'm going to click on this Create button in order to create a workflow. A workflow is created in the name of Enroll Zenler user on Cognito Forms submissions, and you can see there are two windows in front of you. One says trigger, other says action. So what is trigger and action? Trigger and action are the two most important steps of our automation process because our process depends on these two concepts. Over here, trigger says when this happens and action says do this. That means what is action? Action is a response towards our trigger. In an automation process, there can be only one trigger step but multiple action steps. We are going to set up our trigger step first. And for the trigger application, what I'm going to do is I'm going to select it as Cognito Form. Cognito Form is an online tool that helps us to create and manage forms for collecting information easily. Think of it as a digital way to gather details like name, email, feedback, or even payments from people. And I use Cognito Form to collect the registrations from my students who are interested in the course that I'm selling. I want that as soon as a new form submission is going to be done by any of the students using Cognito Form, automatically Pabbly Connect should capture the response of that. That is why for my trigger application, I'm going to select it as Cognito Form. And for the trigger event, I'm going to select it as New Entry. As whenever a new form submission is going to be done by the students using Cognito Form, automatically with the help of this event, Pabbly Connect is going to capture the response of that. Now, in order to do that, we have to connect our Cognito Forms to Pabbly Connect. For doing that, Pabbly Connect has provided us with a webhook URL. With the help of this unique webhook URL, we are going to build a connection by following the steps given here below in the help desk between Cognito Forms and Pabbly Connect. For doing that, log into your Cognito Form account. So this is my account and this is the form that I've created using it. I want to connect this form to Pabbly Connect. For doing that, this is the form field. I'm going to click over here. As I'm going to click on it, the form settings is going to appear in front of you on the left side of the panel. And from these options, you can see an option given to us that is post JSON data on a website. website, I'm going to toggle this button on right over here. As I'm going to toggle it on over here, there are 3 fields in front of you, and over here an option submit entry endpoint is provided, and in this field what we have to do is we have to paste the webhook URL that Pabbly Connect has provided us. Okay, after entering the webhook URL, now the webhook URL has been added. For saving the changes that I've created, I'm going to click on the save button on the top right corner right here. Okay, as I've done that, the changes have been saved successfully. As now the changes are saved, I'm going to go back to my workflow and scroll down. It is saying waiting for webhook response. So now to check whether Cognito Forms is connected to Pabbly Connect or not, what we are going to do is we are going to do the test form submission of this form that we have created using Cognito Forms. And after doing the submission, I'm going to check whether Pabbly Connect captures the response of the test form submission being done or not. Okay. For doing the test submission, click on this publish button right over here. This is the form link you can see on the left side of the panel. I'm going to copy this link from here and open this link on a new tab right over here. So this is the form that I've created using Cognito Form that is going to help me to collect the registration from my student for the course in the name of Advanced PHP Programming. And these kind of forms have been attached on my website to collect the registrations from my student. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the test form submission of this form right over here as I'm going to enroll for this course. Okay. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to enter some dummy details. For the name of the student over here, I'm going to write it as Smart. For the last name over here, I'm going to write it as Student01. For the email over here, I'm going to write it as smartstudent01@pabblytudes.com. This is the email. And for the phone number over here, I'm going to enter a dummy mobile number. Okay. After filling all the details, I'm going to click on the submit button to the test submission. It says thank you for filling out the form. This means the test submission is now been done. As now the test submission is done, I'm going to open my workflow and scroll down. And yes, you can see right over here, Pabbly Connect has captured the response of the test form submission. For the first name as Smart, last name as Student01, full name comes as Smart Student01. For the phone number, this is a dummy mobile number of the student you can see right over here. This is the form name in the name of Advanced PHP Programming Course Registration Form. And this is the description. If I'm going to further scroll down, the student's email is smartstudent01@pabblytudes.com. You can see right over here. As the response has been successfully captured in our workflow, this means that Cognito Forms has now been connected to Pabbly Connect and a trigger setup is done. Now, by any of the students, a new form submission is going to be done using Cognito Forms. Automatically, in the similar manner, Pabbly Connect is going to capture the response of that. After setting up a trigger step, we need to set up our action step. Here, my objective is that as soon as whenever the student a form submission is going to be done using Cognito Forms, I want to enroll that student to the course that I've created in my Zenler account. So this form right over here is for the course Advanced PHP Programming, and I have created this course in my Zenler account. You can see right away the name of Advanced PHP Programming. And now what I want is the student have done the form submission using Cognito Forms. I want to enroll that student in this course right over here. Now for enrolling the student, firstly, we need to create that student as a user in our Zenler account. And after creating the student as a user, we are going to enroll that student into our course right over here. Okay. Now for doing that, what we are going to do is, firstly, we are going to create that user in our Zenler account. For that, I'm going to set up my action step. And for the action application over here, I'm going to select it as Zenler. Zenler is an all-in-one platform designed to help businesses and coaches and educators to create, manage, and sell online courses. It allows us to design and host courses, set up membership areas, and deliver educational content to students. You can track students' progress, engage with them through quizzes and assignments, and manage payments for course enrollments. And I use Zenler to manage all the courses and my students' data. Okay. So over here now what we're going to do is we are going to firstly create a user in our Zenler account. For that, we are going to select our action application over here as Zenler, and for the action event as add new user. Okay, and then I'm going to click on this connect button. A window is going to appear in front of you on which click on add new connection, or else you can select the existing connection. After that, it is asking for the API key and the school account in order to connect our Zenler account to Pabbly Connect. Firstly, over here, what we're going to do is we are going to search for this school. Okay, for school, if I'm going to go back over here, this is my Zenler account, and to have this school over here on this website, if I'm going to go to this URL, for the school name, it is between this https and .zenler.com. So this is the school name in the name of Pabbly. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy the school name from here and paste it right over here. Okay. After that, over here, it is asking for the API key. To have the API key, we have to get it from this URL right here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this URL from here and open it in a new tab. Over here in the URL, it is asking for the school name. As my school name is in the name of Pabbly, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy the school name from here and paste it right over here in this URL. And then I'm going to enter this URL right here. As I'm going to enter the URL, this is the API key. So I'm going to copy this key from here and paste this API key right over here. Okay. And then I'm going to click on the save button. As I've done that, you can see Zenler has now been connected to Pabbly Connect. As now Zenler is connected to Pabbly Connect, over here it is asking for all these details of the user that we're going to create in our account. So for creating the user, firstly, it is asking for the first name. So for the data of this field, what we are going to do is we are going to map the data. What is mapping? Mapping means inserting data from the previous step. So we're going to insert the data from the previous step of this workflow. How mapping works is that as soon as I'm going to click on this field, this is the previous step, that is Cognito Forms new entry. As I'm going to click on it, this was the same response that was captured in our previous step. I want to create the student who have done the form submission using Cognito Forms as a user in my Zenler account. So for the data of this first name field, I'm going to select the data of the first name of my student from my previous response. As I've selected the data from my previous response, the data is mapped. And as I map the data has now become dynamic. That means whenever a new response is now going to be captured in our previous step, automatically the new data is going to be updated in place of this map data. Similarly, for the last name, I'm going to map the data of the last name of my student. It is asking for the email. So for the email over here, I'm going to search for the email of my student right here. This is the email. I'm going to map the data of that. Okay. After that, it is asking for us to select the roles. For the role over here, I'm going to select it as student as I'm creating a student as a user. Okay. For the password over here, for password of my student, I want the name of it. So I'm going to enter first name, last name. Then I'm going to enter an underscore 123456. This is going to be the password of the students right over here. Okay. For the phone number where I'm going to map the data of the phone number of my student right here. It is asking for all these details which I do not require. So I'm going to skip the part. And then simply I'm going to click on the save and send test request button. As I've done that, you can see right over here, we have received a response, which is a positive response. So now I'm going to open my Zenler account and I'm going to check whether a new user has been added in my Zenler account or not. For that, I'm going to go back to my Zenler account. So this is my Zenler account right over here. And now to check whether a new user is added, I'm going to click on this button right over here. From the left side of the panel, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the student section right here. As I'm going to come to the student section, you can see a new user has been added right over here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open the edit page of the student. You can see a student in the name of Smart Student 01 has been added in my Zenler account with the email as smartstudent01@pabblytudes.com. Role as student, you can see right over here, and the phone number. As the student has now been successfully added in my Zenler account, this means that we successfully created a new user in our Zenler account. Okay. As now the user has been successfully created, now what I want is I want to now enroll this student to this course that I've created in my Zenler account in the name of Advanced PHP Programming. So now for doing that, we are going to add another action step to this workflow. And for the action application over here, I'm going to select it as Zenler again. And for the action event, now I'm going to select as enroll user to a course. Okay, then I'm going to click on this connect button. A window is going to appear in front of you on which I'm going to select the existing connection, or else you can add a new connection right over here. I'm going to click on the save button now. As I've done that, after that it is asking for the course ID. As I now want to enroll the student to this course in the name of Advanced PHP Programming. So for the course ID, I'm going to select the course from the drop down in the name of Advanced PHP Programming. Okay. After entering the course ID, it is asking for the course plan ID. Now it is possible that for the same course, I have created different plans, okay, like the advanced, beginners, I've created different plans, okay. Now we have to enter the plan ID in which we want to enroll this user in. Okay, so now to have the plan ID, we have to open the course again. So this is the course right over here. And to check all the plans that I've created from this panel, I'm going to go to this pricing section right here. As I've opened the pricing section, you can see I've created a single plan, which is a free plan. You can see right over here. Okay. So now I want the plan ID of this plan right over. For that, I'm going to click on this edit section of this plan right here. So as we're going to come to the edit section of this plan over here in the URL, between this pricing and edit, this is the plan ID. Okay. So I'm going to copy this ID from here and paste this ID right over here in place of this course plan ID section. Okay. After that, it is asking for the email address of our user. So for the email address of our user, I'm going to map the data of the email address of my user right here. For the first name, I'm going to map the data of the first name of my user and the last name of my user as well in this field. Okay. After filling in all the required details, I'm going to click on the save and send test request button. As I've done that, over here we've received a response in which the message comes over here as success. As the message comes over here as success, I'm going to open the new user that I've created, and after opening the user, I'm going to check whether that user has been enrolled to my course or not. For that, I'm going to open my user. So this is the user right over here, and to check whether this user has been enrolled to the course or not, for that I'm going to go to this courses section right here. As I'm going to the courses section, you can see over here this user in the name of Smart Student 01 has been successfully enrolled to the course Advanced PHP Programming. Okay. As the student has been successfully enrolled to the course, this means that we have successfully created an automation between Cognito Forms and Zenler with the help of Pabbly Connect. So now to sum till now what we have done, I'm an online course creator. Over here for my trigger, I've selected as Cognito Forms a new entry. As with the help of Cognito Forms, I collect the data of my students who want to register for the different courses that I'm selling. So here when the trigger, what is going to happen that as soon as one of the students, a form submission is going to be done using Cognito Forms, Pabbly Connect is going to capture the response of that, and using this response over here in the action, we have selected it as Zenler. Firstly, the student who have done the form submission is going to be created as a user in my Zenler account, and then when the user is created, that user is going to be enrolled to the course that they have registered in my Zenler account. And for that, I've created this amazing automation between these two applications with the help of Pabbly Connect. So this was it for this video. Thank you so much for watching.
Not just with these applications, you can create automation between multiple other applications with the help of Pabbly Connect. If you have any questions, you can contact us on support@pabbly.com. If you have any queries, you can check the queries on forum.pabbly.com. And if you have any pricing related issues, then you can check out this link. If you like this video, please do subscribe to our channel, hit on the like button, comment on if you have any questions or doubts, and please share this video.